People sending voice messages instead of texting is annoying. Instead of just being able to read your message, I have to find a quiet, private place for me to listen to the message. It's annoying. I understand being too lazy to type, but instead, use speech to text so you can still speak, but I can read it like a normal text message. I'll accept your I need to send an audio for this as long as you accept my I can't sit and hear your audio right now. We in the modern world are way too connected. I love my friends, but some days I just don't want to interact. If I send a message, I never expect an instant reply. If I get a message, I'll glance. If it's not urgent, I'll get to it when I get to it, and I'd expect anyone else to do the same to my messages. We got our own lives to live. My dad died last year, but I still listen to his voice messages when I want to hear his voice. So it's not all bad. Especially when I have music on. Like, no, I don't want to stop my music for your goddamn voice note. I personally love voice messages. When I'm in public or something, I just use earphones, so it's never really an issue for me. I love hearing my friends talk to me while I can just keep doing stuff, whereas when I have to read a message I have to drop everything to stare at my phone for a while. I also send them, but only when I'm walking outside or something, so I can watch where I'm going while talking. In general I agree, but it really depends on the message. Some things might be too complicated or too long to write out. My sis always left voice messages. She passed away suddenly this year and I'm so grateful I have them. This is a very popular opinion. Never understood this until I started going to uni and have people send me almost exclusively voice notes on Snapchat that require me to leave the room to listen to them. How is this unpopular? When someone sends me an audio message and I don't feel like finding a quiet place or my earbuds, then they're getting a late response. If you put me in a position where I have to listen, then you're on my time now, so sit back and wait. But with that being said, there have been times where I use audio messages if I have to send a long monologue. Don't know about other people, but it's a lot easier for me to get my point across when I'm allowed to ramble. Text-to-speech only works well when you're speaking perfectly, otherwise it'll be a huge run-on sentence with countless errors. Especially if it's a multiple minutes message. Fucking hate it. Is this really unpopular? I thought everyone hated that. Just send a quick reply, I'll listen to your message as soon as I'm able. Let me know if it's urgent. One of the best things my telco sometimes does is transcribe voicemail into an SMS. They have their uses. A text is a short, quick thing. A phone call is something urgent, interrupting your day. A voice note is something long and meandering which doesn't fit in a text but can wait until you have time to listen. No need to rush to a quiet place to listen, just whenever. I think maybe the people messaging you are doing it wrong, or you just need to wait for a better time to listen. It's a fucking phone, people. Chill the fuck out. I know, right? Source: I'm a deaf person. This is my philosophy: voice message for important shit, texts for the rest. Same, but I also hate when people call me. Just text me instead. What's easier for you may be more difficult for someone else. I find it difficult to catch all of what's said asked in a voice note, so end up listening to it several times. Quicker for you to send, takes longer for me to reply. Why are so many people in this comment section seemingly not aware that you can just raise the phone onto your ear and it will automatically play the voice message from the ear speaker? You don't need to leave the room or find a quiet place, for crying out loud. A guy I work with does this because he's dyslexic and really struggles to read and write. It's terrific for jokes, lol. Bro, it's not unpopular. Voicemail conveys much more meaning than text. With voice, your inflection sends signal that words do not. Voice is 100 times more meaningful and precise than texting. I find it especially annoying when people use voice messages in a group chat discussion where multiple people are participating. By the time you have finished listening to their voice message, The conversation has already moved on. So you can't properly react to their argument. People that go to hell immediately are 1. What you just said, 2. People who have speakerphone conversation in public play their music for everyone to hear. I hope this is common knowledge. A fake, you can listen to voice notes, at least on WhatsApp and WeChat like you listen in on calls. The message will play automatically through the top speaker if you put it close to your ears. I admit I also prefer text compared to voice notes, but some people, like my mom, type so slow that I prefer that she send a voice note. I'll just press play and put the phone to my ears. I prefer it. It's much more efficient. My text messaging apps will read those voice messages back into text for me. So, I don't even notice unless I look harder at the message or the person mumbles and confuses the algorithm. If I see these posted on group chat, I don't listen to them. God forbid I get distracted and have to re-listen to the whole thing, instead of being able to read from where I left off. I don't care that my dad signs all his texts longer than a couple words with dad. But goddammit mom, stop leaving me voicemails asking me how I'm doing. Just sending a fucking text and sign your name. Better yet is when you get a text later asking, did you listen to my message? I do chat support. The number of people who refuse to speak with support by phone, but will chat and send voice memos for my every question drive me nuts. 1. Opening and listening to your rambling while I've got several other chats running is time consuming. I read faster than most of them speak. And 2, I just assume you're an idiot. If you chat, use chat. If you want to talk, call by phone. Welcome back to Popular Opinions. If I reply to your voice note with a voice note, then please, carry on. But if I respond with a written text, please get the memo. I just lost someone close to me and their voicemail is the last way to hear them speak. Huh? Speech to text works well enough on the voice messages. I rarely listen, just read it. I'm also not a big fan of it, but the voice memos are very useful for people with dyslexia and I'm sure other cases as well. My partner's ex just got an iPhone, so now he only sends voice messages. He does it because his abusive texts were used as evidence against him in a court case involving their kids. He's not very bright, so I don't think he realizes that they can be saved and that his tone is captured more accurately that way. But I agree, voice messages are annoying, just voice to text, as you said. Facts. And when they say send one back, it's like, bro, I don't wanna talk RN, I wanna text. I barely listen to my voicemails, so LOL with voice messages. I agree, why I leave voicemails when I call my friends. My brother did this and I hated it, until he died randomly at 32, now I cherish them. Until you lose a person that has sent you a voice message. Then you treasure it because it's usually the older generation that does. This is only applicable to anyone that isn't my wife. She gets really mind-flustered after typing in English for a long time, so she starts to send voice messages instead, which is understandable. I will only ever respond to voice messages with texts. It's just not my thing. I like it exclusively if it's a best friend I don't see often or at all they live elsewhere. Otherwise I absolutely hate it. Some people have disabilities that make it hard to text. Shrug #hash. I just turn the volume lower and place it against my ear. My mom is 70 and just started showing signs of dementia. Sometimes it's just easier and less frustrating for her to send a voicemail than to type a long text. She already has a very reduced social cycle. It's good she has options allowing her to communicate easier so she doesn't get even more out of touch with us. Joke's on me, my son ignores both. Yes, I hate voice notes with all the cells of my body. It's so goddamn annoying, especially when I'm at the office and I don't want to bother co-workers. How is that unpopular? I thought it was common knowledge that voicemails are crap. Whenever I get one I say sorry, can't listen to it, I'm in office waiting room meeting, if you want something type it out, and if nothing follows up it wasn't important to begin with.